acts as the empire itself, quietly waiting to be uncovered by those willing to savor it slowly. As you settle deeper into the rhythm of Mughal mornings, your senses become attuned, not just to the sweet aroma of mangoes, but also to the quiet, essential presence of spices, those tiny powerhouses of flavor and culture that quietly shape every dish before you. The grand breakfast table is never just about food. It is a delicate symphony of tastes and smells, a living testament to the empire's sprawling reach and the centuries of trade and tradition that brought such richness to a single meal. Today, you are drawn into the world of the masalki, the spice masters whose role in the Mughal kitchens is both vital and highly revered. Watching them work, you realize that their craft is a blend of precision science and artistic intuition, honed over generations and passed down like secret family treasures. These specialists carefully select and measure each spice, knowing that a pinch too much or too little can upset the subtle balance of flavors that define the Mughal breakfast experience. The spices themselves tell stories. Cardamom, with its cooling sweetness, is often reserved for the delicate morning tea, its aroma lifting the spirit gently without overwhelming the senses. Cinnamon's warm and woody notes find their way into slow-simmered lentil dishes and rich breads, adding a comforting depth that soothes and sustains. Clove's sharp bitterness cuts through the creamy richness of yogurts and chutneys, lending complexity and intrigue. And saffron, the jewel among spices, appears as golden threads, steeped in warm milk or water, releasing an ethereal floral fragrance that transforms even the simplest dishes into moments of sheer luxury. You find yourself imagining the long, arduous journeys these spices took to arrive in the Mughal kitchens. Cinnamon bark peeled from ancient Sri Lankan forests, cardamom pods harvested from the lush western Ghats, cloves plucked from the spice islands of Indonesia, and saffron carefully cultivated in the highlands of Persia. Each spice embodies a fragment of geography, history, and human endeavor, their paths crossing in this single empire's kitchens. Historians still debate how much the Mughals' fondness for spices was influenced by the medical traditions of Unani and Ayurveda, which attribute various health benefits to different spices, and how much was driven by pure culinary experimentation and taste preferences. Whatever the case, the resulting breakfasts were meals designed to soothe the body, stimulate the palate, and prepare the mind for the long day ahead. There are whispers among the palace staff of a few spice blends rumored to have mild aphrodisiac qualities, a secret ingredient passed between favored courtiers to enliven their mornings. Before important court meetings, a kind of delicious diplomacy that speaks to the human desire to find pleasure and potency even in the smallest rituals. Watching the masalki toast their carefully measured spices over low flames, you notice how the kitchen fills with an intoxicating aroma, heady mix of warmth and sweetness that wraps itself around everyone present like a comforting shawl. This scent mingles seamlessly with the fruity mango notes, the creamy richness of slow-cooked lentils, and the earthy aromas of fresh breads baked from finely milled wheat imported from the empire's northern plains. The spice masters are scrupulous about quality, sourcing only the best crops from trusted merchants, often testing small batches for freshness and flavor before approving their use, underscoring how deeply the Mughals valued culinary excellence as a reflection of imperial grandeur, beyond flavor. These spices also serve pragmatic purposes. Cardamom and cinnamon are known to aid digestion and soothe the stomach, while clove has mild antiseptic properties, small but meaningful contributions to the health of the emperor and his courtiers, especially in a time when medical knowledge was limited and preventive care was often sought through diet. The sophisticated layering of spice and flavor reveals a Mughal philosophy that food is not just nourishment but medicine, pleasure, and art, all intertwined in a single bowl. As the morning meal draws to a close, the lingering fragrance of these spices continues to hang in the air, a gentle reminder of the empire's mastery over both nature and culture. You realize that this experience is more than just eating it, is a sensory journey into history, where every bite connects you to a vast network of traders, farmers, cooks, poets, and emperors, all united by the humble yet extraordinary power of spice. This culinary legacy, preserved through centuries, still influences South Asian cooking today, shaping how modern kitchens approach balance, aroma, and taste. In this way, the Mughal breakfast table becomes a living museum, where the past's richness can be savored slowly, like a fine mango ripe with history. As the golden sunlight filters through the ornate yali screens and bathes the palace courtyard in a soft honeyed glow, you find yourself drifting gently into the realm of Mughal breakfast beverages, an often overlooked but integral part of the morning ritual that quietly complements the rich, fruity flavors of the mango-centric fare before you. The Mughal emperors and their courtiers understood well that the right drink could elevate the entire breakfast experience, offering a soothing counterpoint or a refreshing burst to cleanse the palate between bites. Among the most beloved beverages was the famed sheer chai, a creamy milk tea subtly spiced with cardamom and sometimes a whisper of cinnamon or clove. Watching the tea masters prepare this daily elixir, you notice the meticulous care with which the tea leaves are boiled. Alongside fresh milk, the process slow and deliberate, coaxing out a velvety texture and a delicate balance of flavor that warms your throat with every sip. Sheer chai was more than just a drink. It was a comforting morning hug in a cup, a gentle invitation to pause and savor the moment before the day's demands took hold. But the Mughal breakfast was not limited to tea alone. You encounter the lesser-known koos, sherbet, a cool, fragrant drink made from the roots of the koos grass, prized for its subtle vanilla-like aroma and cooling properties, which were especially appreciated during the scorching Indian summers. This sherbet, often infused with rosewater and a touch of sugar, offered a refreshing contrast to the heavier dishes on the table, and was served in delicate glass tumblers that shimmered in the morning light. Intriguingly, koozie sherbet also had a medicinal reputation, believed to calm the nerves and aid digestion, a fact that illustrates how deeply intertwined the Mughal culinary world was with the principles of wellness. Historians still debate the extent to which such drinks were regularly consumed across social classes, as surviving records primarily reflect palace life, leaving the everyday breakfast habits of common folk less well documented. Nonetheless, these beverages provide a fascinating glimpse into the sensory landscape of the Mughal morning, where taste, aroma, and even temperature were carefully orchestrated to create a harmonious experience. A charming anecdote from palace chronicles reveals that one emperor was so fond of sheer chai that he insisted it be prepared by a particular tea master, whose precise timing and stirring technique were said to bring out the soul of the drink, a small reminder that even in grand courts, personal preferences and ritual nuances shaped daily life. As you sip your own imagined sheer chai, you notice how the gentle spices awaken your senses without overwhelming them, perfectly complementing the sweetness of the mango dishes and the earthiness of the breads. This balance of flavors and textures, you realize, is a defining characteristic of Mughal breakfasts. Nothing too bold, nothing to faint, but a carefully tuned symphony designed to soothe and sustain. The legacy of these beverages lives on, their recipes adapted and cherished in contemporary South Asian households and tea stalls, bridging past and present through the shared language of flavor and comfort. As the morning meal concludes, the lingering warmth of sheer chai and the faint floral notes of koos sherbet continue to mingle with the fading mango scents, wrapping the palace in a gentle olfactory embrace. You feel a quiet contentment settling over you, a subtle reminder that even the simplest elements, cup of tea, a glass of sherbet, can carry centuries of history and care. In this way, the Mughal breakfast ritual reveals itself not just as a meal, but as a slow, sensory journey through time, inviting you to savor not only the food and drink, but the stories and traditions that enrich them. As the morning lingers and the golden light softens, you now turn your attention to the breads that grace the Mughal breakfast table, warm, pillowy companions to the rich lentils, spiced yogurts, and fragrant mango dishes. These breads are more than mere staples. They are delicate expressions of culinary artistry, each variety shaped by tradition, region, and the refined tastes of the imperial court. You watch the bakers, known as nanbe, carefully prepare doughs from finely milled wheat sourced from the fertile northern plains of the empire. Their hands work with practiced ease, kneading and folding, coaxing air into the mixture to achieve the perfect balance of softness and structure. One popular bread, the rumali roti, earns its name from its paper-thin texture, almost translucent, as it is swiftly tossed and stretched before being cooked on the convex surface of a hot iron griddle. This bread, light and supple, serves as a gentle vehicle for scooping up lentils and chutneys, absorbing their flavors without overpowering them. In contrast, the kulcha, a slightly thicker, leavened bread, often enriched with butter or milk, offers a richer, more substantial mouthfeel, perfect for pairing with the morning's heartier dishes. Interestingly, the Mughal kitchen also introduced the shrimo, a slightly sweet, saffron-tinged flatbread, soaked in milk and flavored with cardamom, served occasionally during special breakfasts or feasts. This bread's tender crumb and delicate sweetness provide a lovely counterpoint to the more savory elements of the meal. Historians still debate the exact origins of some of these breads, with some attributing them to Central Asian influences brought by the Mughals themselves, while others point to indigenous Indian culinary practices that merged with Persian and Turkic traditions over centuries. This blending of cultures is perhaps most evident in the breads, which embody a synthesis of textures, flavors, and cooking techniques that mirror the empire's own cosmopolitan character. A quirky tidbit you overhear is that some bakers would sing or chant softly as they worked, a tradition believed to encourage the yeast to rise. Better, a charming reminder that even ancient culinary arts sometimes carried a touch of superstition or ritual. You also notice the subtle but deliberate use of ghee, clarified butter, both in the dough and as a finishing touch on the breads, adding a glossy sheen and a rich nutty aroma that makes each bite more indulgent. The presence of ghee speaks to the importance of layering flavors and textures in Mughal cuisine, as well as the practical need for nourishing fats in a diet designed to sustain long days of courtly duties. As you wrap a piece of rumali roti around a spoonful of spiced lentils and mango chutney, the interplay of soft bread, spicy sweet condiments, and creamy lentils creates a harmonious bite that epitomizes the Mughal breakfast's gentle balance. This moment, simple yet profound, connects you with centuries of culinary tradition, where each ingredient and technique was carefully chosen to create not just sustenance, but pleasure. The bread, humble in appearance, thus becomes a silent witness to the empire's history, reflecting trade routes, cultural exchanges, and evolving tastes that continue to influence South Asian cuisine today. As the breakfast concludes and the bakers begin to prepare for the next meal, you feel the comforting weight of these breads not just in your stomach, but in the story they tell of a world where food was an art, a science, and a language of its own. The morning sun continues its slow ascent as you settle into the subtler details of the Mughal breakfast, the sauces and condiments that, while often overlooked, quietly hold the meal together like soft-spoken narrators of flavor. Among these, the most revered is the array of chutneys and pickles, each a complex layering of sweet, sour, and spicy notes, designed not just to complement the main dishes, but to awaken the senses gently and prepare the palate for the day ahead. Mango chutney, of course, dominates the table. But what catches your attention is the variety of preparations and the artistry behind each one. Some chutneys are made from raw, unripe mangoes, simmered slowly with mustard seeds, jaggery, and a hint of chili, resulting in a tangy, slightly spicy condiment that brightens the heavier lentils and breads. Others feature ripe mangoes cooked with fragrant spices like fennel and star anise, yielding a sweeter, more aromatic profile that pairs beautifully with the subtly spiced yogurts served alongside. The painstaking care with which these chutneys are prepared, often by women in the palace kitchens who guard their recipes, closely underscores the importance of balance in Mughal dining. You learn that chutneys served not only as flavor enhancers, but also had practical uses. Their acidity helped preserve the fruit in the hot climate, while their medicinal properties, like aiding digestion and stimulating appetite, were well appreciated. The pickles, or acar, offer an intriguing contrast, with varieties made from mango, lime, and even wild vegetables, each fermented and spiced with regional variations that hint at the vastness of the empire's reach. Intriguingly, historians still debate how much of these condiments recipes were innovations introduced by the Mughals themselves versus adaptations of older Indian culinary traditions. This blending of influences is a hallmark of Mughal cuisine, reflecting a cultural fusion that extended beyond politics and into the very way food was prepared and enjoyed. Among the more charming tales you encounter is that some emperors insisted on personally sampling new batches of chutney, believing that their refined palates could discern subtle differences that might escape even the most experienced cookson. Amusing image of a ruler moonlighting as a condiment critic. As you taste these chutneys alongside the mango and breads, you notice how their vibrant flavors provide a lively counterpoint, awakening your taste buds and enhancing every bite. The use of ingredients like mustard seeds, fenugreek, and asafoetida, with distinct pungency and health benefits illustrates how Mughal cooking combined taste with function, adhering to a philosophy that food should both delight and nourish. The lingering tang of these chutneys and pickles, as the meal winds down, leaves a pleasant, awakening sensation, much like a gentle breeze through a mango orchard at dawn. This nuanced interplay of flavors and textures reveals the Mughal breakfast, not just as a meal, but as a carefully choreographed sensory experience, where every element, however small, plays a vital role. The legacy of these sauces and condiments endures in South Asian kitchens today. Their recipes passed down and adapted, a testament to the enduring power of flavor to connect past and present. As the palace begins to stir with the preparations for the day ahead, you feel a quiet gratitude for the slow, immersive journey through this imperial breakfast, where even the smallest dollop of chutney carries centuries of history, culture, and care. As the morning begins to wane and the soft chatter of the palace stirs beyond the breakfast chambers, your thoughts turn toward the subtle rituals surrounding the conclusion of the Mughal morning meal, the quiet, graceful customs that mark the transition from nourishment to the bustling day ahead. Among these, the serving of fresh fruits beyond mangoes holds a special place, offering a gentle, natural sweetness to close the meal and cleanse the palate. Seasonal fruits like pomegranates, figs, and melons appear on intricately carved wooden trays, their vibrant colors and fresh scents adding a delicate final flourish. You watch as attendants present these fruits with practiced elegance, often accompanied by small bowls of honey or rosewater, enhancing the natural flavors with a hint of floral sweetness. The ritualistic nature of this service speaks volumes about the Mughal approach to food as an experience of refinement and respect. Final act of hospitality and care toward the emperor and his guests. Another subtle but significant custom involves the offering of mughals, a mixture of aromatic seeds and spices such as fennel, coriander, and cardamom, sometimes sweetened with sugar crystals. These little mouth fresheners were believed to aid digestion and leave a pleasant, lingering fragrance on the breath, a thoughtful conclusion to the morning feast. Interestingly, mughals also carried symbolic meanings in various parts of the empire, sometimes presented as tokens of good luck or hospitality in social gatherings, hinting at the layers of cultural significance embedded in everyday dining practices. Historians still debate how widespread these customs were outside the palace, and how they might have varied across the diverse regions and communities within the empire's vast territory. You overhear a gentle story shared by one of the palace attendants about an emperor who famously preferred to end his breakfasts with a handful of rose petals, believed to soothe the senses and promote calmness, a small but telling glimpse into how personal tastes shaped the rituals of the court. As you imagine yourself savoring these final fruits and aromatic bites, you feel the rhythm of the Mughal morning unfolding fully, from the first taste of mangoes to this delicate, fragrant conclusion. The sensory experience is complete, a slow unraveling of flavors and textures designed to nourish body and spirit alike, inviting you to carry the calm of this moment into the rest of your day. The gentle sweetness of the fruits, the cooling breath of mughals, and the subtle floral notes of rosewater leave a soft impression, like a quiet melody lingering after a song ends. This final act of the breakfast ritual offers a peaceful bridge from rest to activity, an embodiment of the Mughal philosophy that every moment, even the most ordinary, holds the potential for grace and beauty. As the palace awakens fully around you, you feel a profound connection to this world of sensory delight and cultural richness, where food is a language of care, celebration, and tradition, an invitation to slow down, savor, and simply be. With the morning meal now concluded and the last crumbs and sips savored, you find yourself drawn into the quieter moments that follow the gentle settling of the palace, as servants cleared the breakfast spread and the empire's daily rhythm begins to unfold. These post-breakfast hours offer a glimpse into how the Mughals allowed time for digestion and reflection, valuing a slow transition from rest to the day's demands, a practice that resonates surprisingly well, even in our modern, hurried lives. In the spacious courtyards, you notice courtiers reclining on plush cushions, sipping on cool water infused with mint or rose petals. Their conversation low and unhurried, blending with the distant murmur of fountains and rustling leaves. This serene pause after breakfast was more than mere leisure. It was an essential part of the Mughal lifestyle, a recognition that nourishment extends beyond food to include moments of calm and mindfulness. You hear whispers about siesta-like traditions in the empire, where nobles, and even emperors, might take brief rest periods before engaging in state affairs. A custom historians still explore in terms of its frequency and cultural significance. This interlude offers a chance to digest not just food, but thoughts, an ancient ritual of slowing down that echoes in various cultures around the world. Meanwhile, the palace kitchens begin preparations for the next meal, their rhythms measured and precise. But for now, the echoes of the breakfast linger in the air, the subtle scent of mango, cardamom, and fresh bread mingling softly with the morning breeze. You realize that this slow, sensory unfolding from the first bite to the quiet aftermaths, the heart of the Mughal breakfast experience. It is a gentle invitation to savor not just the flavors, but the time itself. A lesson in patience and presence wrapped in the aroma of spices and history. As you breathe in the calm of the palace morning, your thoughts drift back to the mango orchards, the tea ceremonies, and the vibrant breads, all woven together into a tapestry of tradition that has endured through centuries. This journey through the breakfasts of the Mughal Empire has offered more than facts. It has been a passage into a world where food, culture, and daily life intersect in a slow, soothing dance. As you prepare to leave this world behind and return to your own evening, carry with you the gentle rhythm of these meals, the mindful pauses, the delicate flavors, and the quiet joy of simple pleasures shared across time. Now that the last morsel of history has settled gently on your mind, allow yourself to drift in the calm aftertaste of this Mughal morning. Imagine the soft shadows lengthening as the palace settles into the quiet lull before midday. The warm breeze carrying faint whispers of distant gardens and sun-dappled courtyards. The rich sweetness of mangoes, the soothing warmth of spiced teas, and the delicate dance of breads and chutneys blend into a gentle symphony, wrapping you in a cocoon of comfort and tradition. Let the slow rhythm of this breakfast ritual, with its balance of flavors and mindful pauses, soften the edges of your day. There is no rush here, no hurry, only the steady unfolding of time, like the petals of a flower opening to the sun. As you breathe out, feel the soothing cadence of centuries past settling into your own breath, a reminder that rest and nourishment are timeless gifts. Perhaps you notice the faint hum of a fan, or the soft rustle of sheets, gentle companions to this moment of ease. Let your thoughts float like clouds in a serene sky, untethered and calm. Soon, the quiet darkness of night will welcome you fully, and your dreams may carry the fragrant warmth of mango groves and distant palaces, a lullaby woven from history itself. So, before you drift completely, remember this peaceful journey through flavors and time, a slow, soothing story to carry you softly into sleep. End of script. Sweet dreams.